S Sport ekranlarına hoş geldiniz. Bu hafta S Sport'ta çok önemli bir konuğumuz var. Bayern Münih Başantrenörü Pablo Laso ile beraberiz. Coach, first of all, thank you for sharing your time with us.
Pleasure.
We were talking about this crazy schedule in EuroLeague these days. It's the first time that back-to-back double weeks that we are experiencing right now. But we are all, commentators and reporters, and we are enjoying this. But how about you?
Well, for us, it's difficult. It's difficult because, it's funny because I was talking, my assistant is Spanish, and we were talking about Spanish Christmas, and he said, it looks like a year ago that I spent Christmas with my family. And that was less than 20 days ago because we had so many games, so many trips. And, it's this part of the year where it's difficult. But, like you said, it's even difficult to follow. It's even difficult to follow because, and difficult to manage for coaches because, last night you had a great Fenerbahce Partizan game here, and tomorrow Fenerbahce is playing Bayern Munich. And we play Real Madrid last night, and we're here to play Fenerbahce. So somehow it becomes difficult, but we have to understand that we have to live with it. And I just hope people enjoy it because probably we're facing the best teams in Europe, and this is the good thing about the competition.
Coach, as I see, there is no time for a practice, and you cannot, improve a player, develop his abilities, or maybe you want to add a game, add a game from your playbook, but there's no time to, experience it on the court. How do you manage that?
Well, I tell you a couple of examples. For example, I always put the example of a car. In a car, you have to put gasoline on the engine. To a player, you have to put gasoline on the player somehow. And for me, that's practicing and resting.
And resting.
And resting. In the game, what are you doing? You're running with the car. So it's difficult, and it's difficult for players. For coaches, I was thinking last night about the mistakes we did yesterday. What do I do to the players? Get on the mistakes and try to solve them for the good of the team, or just let them go and just start thinking about Fenerbahce. It has to be a little bit of 50-50 thing. So somehow this calendar has changed the way you see basketball, because I remember when I was playing, a long time ago, but it was true that there usually was one, maybe 2 games a week, and then you have time to recover, time to practice, to develop your game. And I just hope this doesn't hurt basketball, because at the end, we're watching a great competition, great games, but I wish that we always have time for players to recover and to practice, because I think at the end is what's going to make them better.
Does it hurt the quality of the games? Or, just to...
I think quality is there. I think quality is there. The only problem sometimes is you see a lack of energy in some moments. What it's kind of normal, because we're pushing the players to play almost every 48 hours. That's very demanding. So sometimes it's true that you're missing some energy. Like, for example, let's say last year that I didn't coach, I was watching a lot of games, and in a double week, first game is always much better because the teams come down on the second. That means the game is worse. Not necessary, but you see less energy, let's say. What it's normal. We're pushing the players to play in a short period of time, and it's normal that they come down a little bit on their energy. I think they really look to, and this is something that coaches will have to manage, to just get the game a little bit away from their head so they recover somehow and they're focused again to play. And they're professionals for sure, and they know how to do it, but we have to somehow help them, because for coaches it's difficult, but also for players for sure.
So, because you have the players to improve their games. For example, Carson Edwards, Leandro Bolmaro. You have all the players that needs to adapt to the system and improve their game during the season.
Yes. Well, and in our case, when you watch, for example, Real Madrid, that I know all the players a lot. Players know how to play, and they've been playing together for many years. So you see that when you scout them, let's say, you see their quality, you see they've been playing together. So a lot of mechanisms are there. But when you get a new team, new coach, new ideas, you would say, I need some, let's say, time to practice, to prepare. So I think that's interesting. And for me, has been a big proof of people adjusting to me and also me adjusting to new players, new team and everything. And I think that it pushes you to get the best out of you and get the best out of your players as soon as possible.
Coach, is it, of course, this is a challenge for you too also, coming out of Spain after 11 years with Real Madrid, and now you are in a big club like Bayern Münih. How do you compare these two teams? Because Real Madrid and Bayern Münih, these two best teams in all the world.
Well, I think Bayern Münih is a great organization, great club, and I'm very happy to be here. But, we want to build something. Okay. In Madrid, maybe building was some years ago. We developed the players, we had time, we had great success for sure, but now we're getting new players. Like, for example, from last year is a new coach, which means different system for sure, and maybe more than half of the team is new.
Yeah.
So you need some time to create those mechanisms. And we're not a team that just can go and buy the best players. We have to, let's say, research a little bit on the market. We had great competitors on the market. This year, Panathinaikos, Fenerbahce, Efes, they were there on the market. Madrid, for sure, they signed back Campazzo. So we know we're not going to be the best option, but we have to be ready. And we're very happy with the players that we got, but we know we're going to need time. Bolmaro, he's still very young. Francisco, first year he plays EuroLeague. So we know in that position, we need to make them grow. And we're very happy the way they're doing. Then we have let's say, a core of players who have more experience, let's say Lucic, Ops, Bonga, that they've been playing together and they know a little bit the system. And then we brought back Devin and Ibaka, also Brankovic new on the competition. So somehow it's a kind of mix, but we really believe that we have a long way to improve. And we're very happy that everybody's giving their best.
Yeah. How about comparing of the lifestyles? One is different. What can I say about this?
Well, first of all, today in Madrid, I talked to my sons. It was very cold, 6 degrees.
In Madrid?
In Madrid.
Oh.
In Munich, it was minus 6. So it's funny because when I told my son, I said, hey, listen, it's not cold in Madrid, it's cold in here. So for sure it's different. But somehow I think it's a good experience, very good experience for me and my family. Munich is a great city to live in. People is being very nice to me and to my family, and we have a great atmosphere. And every time that you leave, let's say your, in Spanish we say zona de confort, comfort zone. You feel a little bit like, I have to adjust for sure. But somehow everybody had made it for me very, very easy, and I'm very happy in Munich. And probably it's a question more for my wife or my kid than for me, because at the end, for me, it's a little bit the same. I get up, go to the gym, practice, prepare games, travel. So maybe if my wife would be here, she would tell you, well, for me, it's different because I have to do different things. But for me, at the end, when you're working, let's say for you, more or less, the routine is a little bit not the same, but pretty similar.
Your son is still playing in Real Madrid?
No, my son is playing in Bayern. My little son. I have 3 sons. 2 stayed in Madrid. One is working. One is finishing his degree. And the little one who used to play in Madrid, now he's playing for
Axel,
Bayern.
right?
Axel, yes.
Axel, how is he going?
He's happy in Bayern Munich. Different also for him. But he has to adjust. He came with his family. He's still very young. And from the first moment, my wife and me, we decided Axel is coming. And I think he's happy. He's happy with the team. He talks very good about the rest of the players. And, he's learning a new language. So it's new for him, but I think it's very constructive. I mean, back on the days when I was 15 or 16 years old, I went to the States. And for me, I think it was a great experience. And I think for sure for young kids, it's a great experience to live away from your parents sometimes, or away from your, let's say, comfort zone. Because you learn a lot of things about life. And it's something that I always, let's say, recommend to my friends. If you can, the best thing that you can give your sons is education and take a different look at the world. So this is something that when we talk, I always recommend to my friends. But I don't want to get on their lives because a lot of them tell me, I want my son with me. Perfect, very good. But I think it's good for them and it helps them on their education, and I think it's very, very useful.
Do you have a dream that you and your son plays in the same team? You call him to get into the game?
Well, no, I didn't have that dream, and I think for him it would be a nightmare.
Not a dream, a nightmare.
Yeah, I don't think about it, and he probably will think it would be a nightmare playing
because he's 17 years old, right?
He's 17 years. But okay, he's young, and I just want him to enjoy it. I'm not the typical father who really pushes him to. If he wants to play, I mean, my idea is. Big players, great players, they really want to do it. If they don't want to, okay, I have the example of Luka, for example, not Doncic. From the first moment you see that the kid wanted to play basketball. Everything was around basketball. Okay, sometimes I was like, even, Luka, forget basketball. You got to go and study. You got to, do different things. But for him, he was very settled on playing basketball. And as a father, I see it this way. I don't want that somehow my son or anyone doesn't like what he's doing just because their parents are like pushing him. Okay, you have to be a lawyer because your father was a lawyer. No, maybe the kid has other
a different life.
A private life or whatever, or attitudes. So I'm a guy that for sure I will help my sons to become the best on anything, and if I can help them, great. But I'm not a guy that will say, okay, Pablo Laso was a very good lawyer. Now my son has to be a great lawyer. No, maybe he wants to be an architect. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm just putting examples, and I think this is the way I see life, and this is the way I see it also when I go to watch youth programs games. I don't like to be in there, my son for sure, or young guys, just to be there and everybody says, Pablo, what is Pablo Laso going to say? No, I just go, enjoy the game, don't say nothing, and a lot of times learn a lot watching those games. Yep.
Coach, I know that you play lots of young players in your team. How is the program in the Bayern Münih, the junior team?
Well, okay, a program is different because rules are different. And okay, for example, in Spain, different rules than in Germany, probably different rules than in Turkey. So I think at the end, your youth program has to somehow adapt to those rules. And for example, our rules in Germany, you have to play 6 Germans and 6 foreigners. In Spain, no, it's different. You have to play 4, we call naturalized, but they don't have to be Spanish. Because if they've been on the youth program for 4 years, they're already
homegrown players.
So it's different in every country, and I think it's very important that you start from the base. I'm very happy with that the team cares about that youth program. Starts very early with under 20, under 12, under 13, under 14. So, okay, we give a lot of, let's say, responsibility to those coaches to help those players to become players for Bayern Munich. Okay, like I always said, I had great players in the youth program in Real Madrid, but it would be very stupid that I would say all these guys will play in Real Madrid. No, but I think that pushes your first team. The youth programs you pushes your team to become better because those kids have to see from the beginning that they can play on the first team, and they will push your first team players to become better.
Coach, we are talking about this competitive season in EuroLeague, and of course, this is the first season of yours in Bayern Munich. But when you look at the competition, the opponents of yours, and you, of course, we are talking about a project here. How bright is the future for your team and the Bayern Munich?
Well, okay, right now, I'm not a coach that just thinks. It was funny because yesterday on the press conference, they asked me about getting into the playoff, how difficult it's going to be. I knew it was going to be difficult, okay. But we're playing the best teams in Europe, and I think we're doing a great job of being competitive every night. If you ask me, we were not competitive in Barcelona. We were not competitive last Friday in Milan. Barcelona played great and outplayed us, and Milano played very good and outplayed us. But I'm not happy the way we perform. I think in the rest of the teams, of the games, the team played very well and improved day by day. This is a goal that I'm searching as a coach, because for sure I have young players that their first year they play in EuroLeague, and they have to become or began to understand that situation of being in EuroLeague. I remember I told one of my players, I'm not going to say who, but when we played preseason game against EuroLeague team, I told him, listen, welcome to EuroLeague. Don't think it's going to be easy. Well, that guy, right now, he's playing EuroLeague and he's playing good. And I'm very happy that, okay, he's going step by step. But we know that that doesn't mean, okay, we don't care if we lose. No, we want to win. I mean, and it's inside of us. And I want to transmit that to my players because for sure you are thinking about the future, about the develop of the club, develop of the team, develop of the players. Okay, we're moving to a new arena next year. So it's big ideas for the future, but that doesn't mean, okay, future will come. No, we have to work to get that future bright. And that became something important for us. And from the first day, we're like this. We don't like to lose and say, okay, future will come and we will be better. No, we want to win tomorrow. We want to win. And it's something that I push my players to understand because it cannot be, okay, we're satisfied. We're playing good. We're playing better. No, we want to win. And we know how difficult it is to get games in EuroLeague.
Yeah, of course. And coach, this might sound provocative, but you always work with the best players while you were in Real Madrid. And now, of course, the player market is not that very good in these days. And you have to, choose what's there. Is it hard to, get the best of the player and maybe they are not the elite players?
Well, I don't know if the word is hard. It's different because sometimes when you're coaching great players, it's because their decision making, you don't have to tell them. They already know what they have to do. And that's what makes you a great player. And a lot of times we have to understand as coaches that if you want to get a player to be better, you have to tell him. A lot of times it's like, you cannot think that he just knows. Maybe he doesn't know. So you have to be there to help him. And, okay, this is a process that, okay, we have to adjust and understand. And also players have to be open. Because if they're not open, okay, they already play. But the level won't raise up because, okay, they're happy with the way they're playing. I don't think that I would like to coach those kind of players. And I'm very happy that my players, they really want to improve. And this is something that for a coach is important. I will tell you a little story. I had one player, probably one of the best players in Europe that plays now in Real Madrid, that on my first year, he was almost not crying, but saying, we cannot beat Barcelona, we're playing bad. And I said, take your time, you're getting better, it will be a time where you will be a decisive winner. But that day he was destroyed because he said, we cannot win, I didn't play good. And I said, take your time, it will come, but you have to keep working, He did it, and right now he's probably one of the most known players. And I was very lucky in Madrid that I coached great players at that time.
And coach, speaking of Madrid, I believe it was one of the most emotional games of yours that you stepped on the visiting center. And the crowd was amazing. There was an ovation, standing ovation for like minutes, and it didn't stop. How did you feel when you stepped on the court?
Well, okay, I was, seriously, I wanted the game to start. Because, okay, you're a professional and you're a coach and you want the game to start. And all those emotions, fall apart when the game starts, when the ball goes to the air. But it was true that it was very emotional. Why? Because it comes from the people. And
not from the club.
Not from the club, not from a certain person. The whole people naturally give me that ovation. And that was very shocked for me. And I think it was, okay, they saw me for 11 years on the other bench. And they really enjoyed and they suffered with us. They won with us. It was many years of experience. And for me, it was very emotional. And seriously, I wanted the game to start to leave that apart. But okay, I only have good words for the club and for the fans, the way they treat me during these 11 years. And okay, that emotion that day, for sure, it was big. Because it came from the people. I mean, it came from inside of them. And it was emotional. But like I tell you, inside of me was something like, please finish, let's start the game.
But the players also, coach.
Players also, yes. Players were... Okay, I always said that somehow, for me, my players are my sons. I go at them let's just think about if your son comes late at night. What do? You go crazy. Yeah. I told you to be at 11:30 at home and you come at 1, you go crazy. Okay, I'm that kind of coach. If I have to tell them something, I will tell them. But at the same time, I'm going to defend them always because I think they try and they play hard and they want also to win and they want to play for you. So I always defend them. But if I have to go at them and tell them something, I will. That's the way I am. They know me, and I'm not going to change. Okay, it's the way I am. And the players that I coach in Madrid, that they had great careers, all of them, and I'm very happy that all of them that I coach in Madrid, they went up on their careers and they had better, even contracts, money, recognized, everything. And I'm very happy because that talks very good about them.
Yeah. Usually you work somewhere at like 10 plus years. People may, relationships sometimes might broken. Yeah. But this is the case for you and your players.
Yeah.
This is a unique experience for your, it's unique relationship with you and your players, coach.
Well, for me, it's unique. And it has to be unique. Yeah. Why? Because they're with you almost every day. Yeah. I always tell them I spend more time with them than with my wife. So at the end, it has to be unique. Yeah. We're together almost every morning. We see our face every morning. Like yesterday, we lost against Real Madrid. And this morning, we were seeing each other again. So we have to live together the good and the bad moments. And that's great. And I had it as a player. I mean, for me, it was like a little bit as, I don't know if family is the word, but it's a little bit like this. You're with that people all day and you see them suffer. You see them getting married. You see them, having kids. And you live that part with them and you have to understand that they're not robots. Yeah. They're not guys who just push the button and, okay, play basketball. No. Sometimes they cannot play basketball because they're hurt. Today, I was having a conversation with one of my players that he cannot play today. And like, Pablo, but I want to play, but I can. Okay, he's suffering, but he's suffering because he cannot play. And you have to understand and you tell him, hey, I'm the first one that wants you to play. But if you cannot play, you cannot play. So it's very important that you have that kind of relationship where, okay, they have the feeling that what they're doing is good for them, is good for the team, for sure good for me, but I also want the good for them. And this is something that is a relation that you build on time. But for me, like I said at the beginning, is a little bit kind of a father and son relation. You ask a lot from them, but they also give you a lot. And sometimes if you have to criticize them, you're the first one who has to tell them, hey, I told you to be at home at 11:30, not at 1.
Coach, returning to Bayern Münih, when we look at the stats of your team, the first thing that you see is the rebounding. Yeah. And the rebound percentage you are the leading team in EuroLeague. Is it something that you impose in the team and you want from your team? Yeah. Or does it come with the missing balls and
no? Okay. When you define a little bit what do you want out of your team, you have to see a little bit the players that you have. Let's say if you have Campazzo, maybe you cannot play the same kind of basketball that you have. I don't know, Bolmaro or Francisco. They're different players, and it's normal. If you have LeBron James, you're not going to play the same as if you have Stephen Curry. Yeah. But at the end, you got to play good basketball. And for sure, LeBron James plays great basketball. Stephen Curry or Bolmaro or Francisco or Campazzo, because he's the point guard of Real Madrid. But at the end, the coach has to manage those things. I think rebounding was very important for us because we're a team that we want to run and we have to get the ball. And our defense, a lot of times, it's a little bit lacking of getting steals. But we're very, very aware of our board, and we're able to rebound. That talks very good about the end of our defense. We're playing good defense, we're playing solid defense, but we need to get the ball back. And a lot of times we're not a great team in steals, but we need to rebound. Also, we want to play kind of a high-tempo game. That means we're going to have turnovers, and we have to live with it. I hate turnovers. If some of my players will be here, will be, he go nuts when you turn the ball over. Yeah. Okay. But if we need to balance that and we need to get more rebounds to get the ball back. So this is something that with the team that I have, I'm playing with Serge, who has been a great rebounder on all his career. Also Devin, Brankovic, but also Lucic, Bonga. I want everybody to get involved on rebounding the ball. And I think we're doing a very good job rebounding, and I think it's a very important part of our game.
Coach, we were talking with Sharas a couple of weeks ago when he moved to Fenerbahce, and he said there's a misconception about me. I'm not a coach that controls everything. I have that roster and I need to control some things. And I'm a Fenerbahçe and I want to run. So when you look at the coaches, we always label them coaches like he's a controlling guy, he likes to run. Well, but this is the thing with the team you had, right?
Yeah. I don't have that feeling with coaches. I understand you press, think a little bit. Okay, this coach likes this, blah, blah. You have to analyze it and I understand. I don't think that. And I'm going to explain you why. One day if I'm sitting on that chair, I will talk at the same way that I'm doing it now, sitting on this one. Coaches, usually they're not that stupid. They know what they manage. And they will tell you, I would love to play great defense, get the ball back, be able to run and score on transition. What team doesn't like, what coach doesn't like that? But maybe you don't have the right players. Maybe you're not good on the break. Maybe you have a very big guy that you need to involve on the game. So at the end, what Sarah says is, okay, for sure there is things that you have to control, but that doesn't mean you can control everything because he knows that he cannot control everything. And I don't like that, paradigma, it's in Spanish, I don't know how you say it in English, of, okay, he's a coach that permits this, but he's no. At the end, the coaches have to manage their personnel, and they're the first one who say, okay, this is something that I can control, these are things that I cannot control. For example, I'm going to put it in a stupid example that everybody understands. How about if I want to practice at 4 o'clock in the evening, but the floor is not ready?
You cannot practice.
I cannot practice, no. This is very simple. I cannot practice, so I will have to adjust. So I cannot control everything. Okay. So this is, I put a stupid example, but I want the people to understand that coaches a lot of times cannot control everything. Cannot control everything. From the airport to the hotel, it was traffic. I cannot control traffic. Okay, it's not basketball. But I don't know. It's life. So at the end, it's the same. Tomorrow might be a player from Fenerbahçe who cannot play. Saras would like to play. Yeah, but he cannot control the doctor and tell him, make him play. The doctor will say, he's sick. He had 39 degrees fever. So that's why I hate when on your position you say, okay, he's a coach that he likes to control everything. He's a coach that gives more freedom. Okay. Because I don't think that way. I think coaches usually, they're not stupid and they know what's going to be better for their team. And this is why I have a lot of respect for coaching since, for sure, I was a coach and I had coaches. And now that I have them always against me, because I know how difficult it is to manage teams, for sure, understanding that for sure you will have to control something. I mean, you cannot give freedom to anything. That's for sure, because you're in a group. It's like, I don't know, if you work on the TV, you probably have a boss. Does the boss let you do whatever you want?
Of course not. Simple as that, right?
So I think that's a little bit the way it has to be. And I understand Sarah's answer because I never had the feeling that Saras is a guy that he wants to control everything. No. And I think Saras is a great coach. And he proved it on years. And he was a great ex-player. But I don't think he's a guy that you can just say, okay, he's a guy that controls everything. For me, no. He's a guy that controls the things that are important for him. That's for sure. That's what
the principles, right?
The principles that for him are important for sure has to control. How about if I want to practice at 4? Like crazy every day? Well, somebody in Bayern Münih will tell me, Pablo, we will do whatever we can because if you want to practice at 4, maybe we will move somebody so you can practice at 4. Yes, for sure. I have people on, even, I don't know, I have a very good shooter and I tell him not to shoot the ball. Okay, maybe inside of him, he will tell, okay, I will try not to shoot it. Okay, because it's on my game. So I think somehow you will have to adjust and you have to manage those kind of situations with players, persons, and players have to adjust of what do you think it's important for you on that sense of, let's say, being strict somehow or on certain situations.
How about when you build a team? You know, you're building a team from scratch and you choose the players from your the way you play, the way you want to play, or you get the players that you can get, and then you find a play that these players can play.
Okay, let's go to one position. Point guard, for example. I don't like to have the same kind of point guard. Why? Because I don't want two guys that play the same. Some attitudes of one cannot be the best aptitudes of the other one. So you have to balance that situation. Let's say you have a point guard who can play 25, 30 minutes at one speed, one rhythm. Maybe you need another one who only play 10 to 15 minutes, but he has to give you something different, more control or more scoring or whatever. This is how I like to build the teams, knowing that this that we were talking about point guards, you have to balance with, let's say, with bigs. For example, I'm going to put an example on our EuroLeague team so everybody will know. For me, Olympiacos had the best scorer in last years. He was Bethenkov, playing at the 4. Great scorer. Okay? Peters is playing very good. Last year he didn't play because on his position was Bethenkov. So now this year is Peters who become the guy who's backing up Bethenkov because they need scoring on that position. And they sign a great player, Sigma. But maybe what they need is more what Peters is giving than what Sigma is giving. That talks bad about Sigma? No. That talks bad about Barsokas? No. Talks very good about the organization, about the signing, but okay, they have to know what balance do they want on every position. Okay, and then sometimes a market doesn't get you what you want. I'm going to put an example that's somebody that I cannot sign. I would like to have Sergi Yul in Bayern Munich, but I'm not going to have Sergi Yul. So what I do? I don't coach. No, I'm mad. I don't have Sergi Yul, so I won't coach Bayern Munich. Well, somebody in Bayern Munich will come, Pablo. Listen, we cannot sign Bayern Munich. I remember a clinic that I put this example about LeBron James. We was in Malaga. I was like, it's very simple. If they sign me in Malaga, I will go, I want to sign LeBron James. And then the president of Malaga said, Pablo, we cannot sign LeBron James. Oh, then I don't coach. Yeah, or maybe he will tell me, yeah, if we sign LeBron James, we don't need you. So at the end, I think it has to be a little bit the club, okay, money-wise, what we can get, the player that you want to get, and make a balance of what do you want to make with the team, your ideas. You want to be more of a defensive team, a team that needs creation outside, guys that play pick and roll. How many guys can play pick and roll on your team? I think that right now you almost need at least 2 good ball handlers on the floor to create a team where not only one guy can be the main creator with the ball. So you have to make a little bit of everything and mix it up. And then you cannot go to the market and say, okay, I'm going to get this oil because I like, no. Maybe you cannot get the one you want and you have to have different situations that maybe they are combined. There is players that you really believe that can get into your system. And there is some others that they say, okay, I will get him if I get this other guy. But if I don't get this guy, I will never sign him. So making a team a lot of times is very part of this, a lot of part of success, because it's that work that a lot of times you don't value. But how important, and I already heard it from a lot of coaches, how important is the job on the postseason to make a good team, because a lot of times the problems during the season become problems that you cannot repair because your postseason was not good. And and there is a lot of things that you have to consider. For example, when I used to play, like I said, back on time, we used to play between 30 and 40 games. Now you play 80. So, okay, maybe you need to sign a different kind of player to play 80 games. Or maybe you said, I will sign him, but I have to rest him half of the teams or half of the games, and I have to consider to manage his minutes. Okay, this is part of your post-season, and it's going to help decisions, and it's going to help you during the season.
We were talking before this interview with you, Coach, about FS situation. They built a roster. They have injured players, like 7, 8 players. They signed new players. And now the injured players coming back to the team. And whole new chemistry the third time in a season. Isn't it hard to, you have an idea, you begin the season, you sign players, but life doesn't treat you as that way.
Yes, I was thinking, in fact, I was thinking about about his coach the other day. I was thinking about how difficult it has to be for him.
Yeah.
You know,
for Erdem Can, right?
Yeah. How difficult to, okay, I start again the year with this roster. Then, boom, this guy gets hurt. Boom, this guy gets hurt. Boom, this guy gets hurt. I remember when they played us in Munich,
yeah.
they had 2 players, and they were there.
Mm-hmm.
And even him during the moment, he told me, I don't know if he's playing tonight. So how difficult is for him? Because at the end, those 2 players, that it was Bebois and Sisic, Sisic play a little bit, but Bebois didn't play. Mm-hmm. And the problem a lot of times is like, okay, if I don't have him, I don't have him. Mm. I will make a game plan. He will play. But then they're coming back. So there is not only one problem. Mm. It's more than one problem. Problem is they're getting hurt. That's a problem. But then you got to get him back. And then somebody's getting his minutes, his spot, his role. So it has been an unbelievable year for them because they have a lot of players in and out. I still remember we played them. We didn't play them, but we were with them in Athens on preseason. Yes. And Jones was hurt. Yeah. I saw him working out on the pool. So from the beginning, even from preseason, they had these problems. Yeah. And this is something that I always said, I wish that you don't have that kind of problems, but you have to live with them, with injuries. And it's a lot of times very difficult for coaches to manage this. Yeah. Not only somebody getting hurt, but also how do I get him back? Because at the end, it has to change roles, have to give him minutes to give him confidence. So a lot of times, these moments during the season are difficult. And like I said, okay, I remember when we played him and it was difficult and has been a difficult year for them.
Yeah. And when you look at the social media, the first reaction is always, oh, send the coach.
Yeah.
Send the coach. The injured players is something else, but send the coach. The crazy schedule, there's no time to practice, there's no time to, implement something to the team. But first thing always said is
the coach problem. Yeah. Well, we have to.
How do you handle this pressure, coach?
Well, okay. I always said the pressure comes from you. I mean, a lot of times you said, okay, I don't know how you say decepcionado. Somebody doesn't give you what you expect. Okay, it's not a problem what he gives you. The problem is your expectations. Okay, so this is a little bit the same with the coaches. Coaches, if you don't want to have this pressure, open a cafeteria. Don't be a coach.
You have to be ready for this pressure.
You have to be ready for this. And I always think that the coach is the first one who puts pressure on himself. I mean, if you don't do it, then you cannot be a coach. You need to feel that pressure. It's funny because I talk to friends who coach even youth programs or youth categories, and they're like, oh, we're playing this game on Sunday. We have to win because... So they had that pressure. But you have to handle that pressure, but you're the one who had to put pressure on yourself. So at the end, it cannot be only, okay, we lose, so I have pressure from the fans, from the club, so they're going to fire you, because this is life. And in Europe, even more, okay, because you're playing for something since the first game. You're playing to get in the cup in Spain. You're playing EuroLeague. You're playing the league, and and you're going to be just judged by the results. Because at the end, no one sees you practice. No one sees you injured players. They don't value for this. They value, okay, you lost, finish, your problem. Let's see if with a new coach we win. For me, I always say that it's very simple solution. Simple.
Which is?
Fire the coach. Every time you miss, every time you lose a game, fire the coach, get a new coach, you will win. But then that coach will lose. What we do? We fire him again. So for me, firing a coach is not a lot of times the solution. And for sure, sometimes you need to do it. And we saw situations where, okay, they changed the coach, they changed the mentality or the ideas or whatever, it went good, for sure. But we also saw a lot of examples of changing the coach and nothing changed, and they go even worse. So at the end, it's not the only solution. And it's funny because with a friend in Spain, we always say that no, they need to sign a new player, they need to... And at the end, we say, they need to fire that player.
Yeah.
No? So a lot of times, okay, it's like firing the coach, signing new player. And at the end, it's like, stay with the coach, fire that player, for example. I don't know if it's the right situation, fire or signing the coach or stay with the coach or get a new player. I don't know. It's different situations, injuries. For example, Efes. We don't play Efes, we play Fenerbahce. Efes needed to sign players. They didn't even have players to go to the games. I mean,
they have 6 or 7
they have like 6 or 7 player injuries. They need to sign players because they could not even go to the games. Okay, and we're going to criticize them. Okay, they brought this player that they... Come on, they don't have players. They need to sign whatever. Because at the end, they have their objectives. They have, new players, people who got injured. So at the end, it has to be a balance of understanding what is good, what is bad. But it's true that a lot of times the easiest solution is fire the coach, we will be better.
Coach, let's finish with the future of EuroLeague. The Dubai team will get into league as far as we can see right now. The expansion might be there or not, I don't know, but it's a double week and back-to-back double week, and we are talking about the schedule things. How do you see the future of EuroLeague?
Well, I'm not a very great guy watching the future, but for sure, I think that somehow we have to protect our players. And what that means, we cannot push our players to play more than 100 games a year. I have players now, and I had in Madrid players that are playing almost more than 100 games a year. And that's stupid, because that doesn't help the game. Because at the end, we're killing our actors. So somehow we have to manage business, what I'm the first one defending, okay? If we have to go to Dubai, if we have to get another sponsor, if we have to do more, for sure, I will be a great defender of that. But I will be a great defender of we have to protect our actors. And if we push them to play 100 and some games, it will be difficult because they will get hurt and they won't perform as good as they can. So it's not easy to find solutions. I would love to give solutions. I can give ideas, but for me, the future comes by FIBA and EuroLeague getting together, as well with the national domestic leagues, and it has to be room for everyone and right moments for everyone, because that's the way that the game will go on and will continue getting better. If you think killing you, I'm going to be better, no. I think that a lot of times, and this is the way I'm thinking, if I push you up, I will go up also. And a lot of times we think that, okay, pushing you down, I'm going to grow. And I think that somehow we should go hand by hand, trying to grow up, because basketball, we saw it in Europe, that how the people follows their national teams, their domestic leagues, the EuroLeague. So we have a great fan base, and we have to protect it. And we have to protect the fan base, and we have to protect the players, the actors. And this is something that it will help everybody to grow up. And this is something that I wish that it will come in the future, because we will be the good future for basketball. This is what I want.
Coach, thank you very much
for
sharing your time with us.
Sorry, I speak too much.
It's always very nice to talk with you.
Pleasure.
Thank you very much. Coach Pablo Laso röportajımız böyleydi. Bir sonraki röportajımızda görüşene dek hoşça kalın.